Directions are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Yes, indeed. Ooh, listen to that voice cracking like crazy. Good morning, folks. It is a little loud there, huh? How about that? A little loud. Anyway, today is Friday, April 21st, 2023. Great to have you here as always. Getting ready for the weekend, are you? We made it through another week. Excited? And shut that up. That's good. I like it when it's shut up like that. Good morning. Again, Friday, April 21st, 2023. Uncle Walt is scheduled to be here today. Uncle Walt has been on the program 2 or 3 times previously. He's just finishing his first year in stand-up comedy, full time. Well, decided at whatever point in life he is. I would guess Walt is one of these guys in his late 30s or early 40s, somewhere like that. But just decided that he's going to go into comedy full time, and has done it for 1 year now, completing his first year, and he's got some stories from the road to share with us. So he'll be here probably in about, 12 minutes or so. Anyway, last night on the Mind Dog TV podcast, I had a guest named David Lawrence, who has written a book called Are We Really Biochemical Robots?, which is a response to Sam Harris's book, Free Will, that was written, 12 years ago or something. Very interesting program, way above my head. But now I feel compelled, motivated, inspired again to try to get Sam Harris on the program. Now, Sam Harris is rightfully so too smart for me and knows it, and probably won't be, look at me and say, "I don't want to talk to this nobody for this dopey, uneducated nobody who is not on my intellectual level." I think if you're going to put out a book, because that claims to change or lay out the nature of reality in a way that is radically different from what most people believe, I think you have to be prepared to deliver that conversation and your proof of your theory or evidence of your theory to not just other intellectuals, but to the common man, to me and my people. Because what he's claiming, first of all, you have to know that Sam Harris is an atheist. But he's claiming in his book, in his work, that there's no such thing as free will. Everything you do, all your thoughts, all your actions are predetermined from the time before the Big Bang. Well, who's predetermining them? It sounds a lot like God. I mean, no matter how, you can put any label you want on it. If there is an intelligence, a force, something that is driving every decision you make, every thought you have, everything is predetermined. There has to be something, some entity that's doing that, something behind it. And I don't care how you label it, it all comes back to very theological feeling sounding ideas. There's a contradiction there. But again, now to put this idea out there that there is no such thing as free will and every single thought you have is predetermined. In order to convince people of that, you have to first admit that that thought that you had about everything being predetermined was predetermined in according to your theory, and you were forced to think that. That's not your own thought. If that's your theory, circular logic every which way you turn in the whole thing. A lot of painting themselves into corners with the whole argument. And David Lawrence just decided to say, you know what, somebody's got to challenge these ideas, because Harris has been putting this talk out there in the intellectual circles that people just love to think of themselves as smart people. They're out there talking about these things as if they're real, and nobody has the balls to challenge them and say, you know what, your theories don't hold up. Let's discuss these things. And according to David, the one time somebody did check him on it, he kind of turned his back and walked off stage and ignored him. So I would love to get Sam on the program and talk to him about it. Now, again, he's going to look at me and say, why should I talk to this guy? I talk to Joe Rogan. I don't talk to Mind Dog. Who needs to talk to no Mind Dog? But it was a fascinating conversation. I suggest you go back and, if you're so inclined, if you are curious about these kind of things, check out last night's program. Not a funny one at all by any means, but definitely an interesting and deep conversation. And if you're interested in those kind of things, check it out. Anyway, Uncle Walter's in the back there. I see him hanging out back there. I am going to tell you about Koa Coffee. Next week, I'll be telling you about some other things. We have a contest coming up next week to win a couple of tickets, including plane fare and hotel, to see Doug Stanhope tape his new special or hour at Rogan's Club, the Mothership in Austin. Day drinking. He's taping them at noon on a Monday and Tuesday. I believe it's Monday and Tuesday. I got to check this out. Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday. And basically 12 noon to 2 p.m., 2 days in a row, we'll be taping it. We will be giving away 2 tickets to both days, hotel and airfare for 2. Next week, you got to tune in to get the details on how to win that. Should be interesting. Now, I got to say, asking me to fix the... First of all, we're putting the rules together, me and a couple of friends here. And it's not going to be fixable. It's not going to be something where you can put the fix in. So, but the number one rule is, if you ask me to fix it for you, you're automatically eliminated. You can't win. Because I got 3 of them last night. Well, 2 of them and one that was kind of like, I love to see stand-up, but I don't really have the money, and I think it's great what you do. I'm not fixing it for you. I can't fix it for you. But we're not playing that game. This is not going to be a shady contest where somebody just, can you help me win? You're putting this out there. I really would love. No. You win it square and fair, fair and square and where, here and there, up in the air, eat a pear, or you don't win it at all. Anyway, I'm going to have some cold coffee right now. And then we'll be back with the fabulous Uncle Walt, and we'll hear about a first year and stories from the road, from a road dog comic who's feeling it now. Welcome. This episode is brought to you by Koa Coffee. If you are a coffee connoisseur and want to experience the best coffee Hawaii has to offer, no blends, no compromise, try the true taste of Aloha. Koa Coffee produces premium Hawaiian coffee, hand-picked, expertly roasted, and delivered from Hawaii to your door with Aloha. From award-winning 100% Kona coffee grown on the slopes of the Mauna Loa volcano to the unique mocha beans of Maui, they strive to provide their loyal customers with the best quality and freshness. Since 1997, Koa Coffee has been known far and wide as a product of utmost quality, and their awards prove it. Koa Coffee was featured in Forbes' Top 10 Coffees of the World. This is the coffee Forbes called the best coffee in America. Find out what it's all about. Go to minddogtv.com/coffee. Yeah, find out what it's all about. What's it all about? It's about coffee. That's what it's about. It's about pretty girls running on the beach. There you go. Hello.
Hey, yeah, mind dog, yeah, mind dog. If you ready for some action, this dog sure to keep you laughing. Let's go. Mind dog, yeah, mind dog. Don't roll, don't play fetch, only here to keep your interest. This is the show that you've been missing, full of comedians and musicians, plenty of interviews, entertaining. Keep it funny, there ain't no debating. So authentic and straight raw, pushing the limits when they talk, doing it live when they stream. Mind Dog TV, yeah, so crazy, getting intense. The dogs are wild, better beware before you hop over the fence. Mind Dog, yeah, Mind Dog. If you ready for some action, this dog sure to keep you laughing. Let's go. Mind Dog, hey, Mind Dog. Don't roll, don't play fetch, only here to keep your interest. Let's go. Come have coffee with the dog.
Yeah, come have coffee with the dog. You know what? Good morning, Walt. You know what? You are in that promo more than anybody. You're like featured all over that thing. I think you're in there 4 times. Congratulations. I don't know.
Hey, appreciate it, dog. That's because you my dog. Now, dog, you know, every time I get on with you, I got to hit you with a dog song. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
That's my dog.
That's my dog.
That's my dog.
Hey, that's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog show. Me and my dog. We all 2 in a row. Hey, me and my dog. Hey, we all 2 in a row. All right, we don't want no copyright. Good morning, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Good morning, Walt. Now, how are you, my friend? You're looking fabulous.
Well, thank you, sir. You looking quite fabulous yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I have been following you, man, and following your exploits and seeing how it's working out for you. Now it's an interesting life, isn't it?
Dog, man, shit. Let me tell you something, motherfucker. This shit is one of the hardest things I ever embarked on. The hardest in my life. You know what I'm saying? Being a road comedian, a stand-up comedian, there's nothing that compares to it in regards to how hard it is to do.
Wow. Well, not everybody approaches it as hard as you do. And, you know, people generally put their toe in the water and kind of go at it much slower than you are. I admire the way that you're doing it. I think you're doing it the right way, especially coming at it, you know, not as a kid into it. And you got to do that. But most people don't have that same experience as you. They go the first time they go to an open mic, then 2 weeks later, somebody says, you want to try it again? And it's not like they're going like at it full time and hard like you are. So it's a little
I appreciate
different.
the compliment, dog. You know, man, when I jump into something, you know, I'm all in. You know what I mean? We don't half step or bullshit. We putting both feet in the water and we gonna try to swim through this thing.
Right. I gotta get the one, and I don't mean to kind of bring up bad memories already, but the one story from the road, guy, total racist heckler, you know, throwing the N-word out there at you. How did you deal with that? Because to me, there's heckling, and then there's that, which is beyond heckling. That's like a hate crime, you know, borderline hate crime. Whether he can get arrested for that, I don't know. But how did you deal with it? You had to be boiling inside emotionally, no?
No, actually, to tell you the truth, dog, I wasn't. It was a funny story. We had did the show and everything went fine. I thought And then I was prepping for another show, and I was doing a radio interview with some comics out of Little Rock. And while we was off air, one of the comedians said, "Did you hear somebody, call you nigga at the last show?" I said, "No, I don't recall that." I said, "But I do have a recording, and I'll go back and watch it." And sure enough, dog, when I went back and watched it, he said, "That's enough, nigga." And
Wow.
then doing the performance, I actually stopped and I said, "Huh? What?" Because
Right.
I didn't hear what the person said. And I really wanted to know. And I said something about his mullet or something like that. And then I just continued on with the show. It was until, my other comedy friends had told me that, yeah, he said that.
Oh, I thought 'cause I did watch it, and I saw the part where you said, "What'd you say, huh?" And then you kept doing it. I said, "Man, that takes some real professional." I was giving you kudos for actually hearing them and not reacting to it and just going on with it. I said, "Man, that couldn't have me. I would have been like, you know what? We come up here."
Dog, I'm telling you, I would love to take the credit for being cool, calm, and collected under that type of stress. But man, I really didn't hear it live in the moment. I didn't.
Wow. You know what? Good for you that for not hearing it though. Probably would have ruined your set and it would ruin your night and all that stuff. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
man.
dog, I would have told that motherfucker up, man. I would have beat some ass that night. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? Let's talk real shit, man. I'm a
Yeah.
crazy motherfucker. Now, I ain't got no felonies, but I will get an assault charge here or there. Thank you.
Right. Now, I'm glad to hear that because you know what, I was that bothered me for a while when I saw that, and then I was like, I put a lot of thought into this, like where would I be in that situation, and it would not be pretty, But like, I guess I definitely would have heard it because you didn't hear it. My hearing sucks anyway, so I would have definitely not heard it. But anyway, I mean, they could call me that all day long. Just be like,
Yeah, you my nigga, dog. There you go. I got you
there
on
you go.
down with it.
You know what? It's a badge of honor here.
For sure.
Uh,
Shit, let's get lit, baby. You like my cup?
yeah,
Get lit. You know what I'm
get
saying? Get you
lit.
some books. Shit, get
Um,
some shit. So
so did you do anything yesterday, 420? Any you celebrated as a holiday or anything?
I got lit, dog. What the fuck are
Got
you
lit.
talking about? I got lit all day long, man.
Yeah,
Shit, yes. I enjoyed myself on the 420 holiday and all of its festivities thereof. Can you dig it, dog?
I can dig it. You back in Arkansas now?
Yes, sir. I'm back at home. Still grinding it out on the road, trying to reset after the shit that just happened to me, dog.
Right. So your first year just ended this week, or no? It was like just around this time last year that.
Actually, it was on April 7th. I celebrated my first year in comedy.
Very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
man. April 7th. I'm still a baby. You think about a 1-year-old. What can they do?
Right.
Can they even walk yet? They can hardly hold up their heavy ass heads. You know what I mean? They can't talk. They still talking gibberish, and that's how it feels in this comedy game for me. Feels
The
like
YouTube
I'm a
videos
baby.
feel like people don't people treat you like you're a seasoned pro, and people laughing their heads off. And I was just watching the Laugh Factory clip this morning. It's like you're killing it, so good for you. But any regrets at this point, or any of that kind of stuff about any of the experiences you've had?
Um, no, I can say no regrets, dog, because I'm truly free, man. I'm free
Yeah.
now. I'm a whole lot broker than I was before, but I am free. You know what I mean? Free to make my own decisions. And you know how at a 9 to 5 job, you have to hide who you are?
Yeah.
You got a code switch and shit. Hi, my name's Walter. It's good to be here. Blah, blah, blah. All that other bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I want to be myself. You know what I'm saying? And I want people to accept me for who I am. And on that stage, people do. They truly
Very
do.
cool. Very cool. I got to tell you, I got canceled last week, and it was or 2 weeks ago, and it was freeing. It was totally freeing. I got canceled. I thought over telling a joke about the New York Mets, which I thought was totally fucking lame. Like you care about a sports team that much that you're gonna go after a guy and try to cancel me. But it turned out I was canceled over making fun of Kid Rock for shooting beer cans about trans people and stuff. And but at the time I was like, you know what, I could get vengeful about this thing, or I could be happy about it and say,
Mhm.
uh okay, you better watch. If I you offended you, then you better run now because there's nothing holding me back. Because I'm gonna, I have no reason to be politically correct anymore. You canceled me already. It can only happen to you once, and now,
Right.
and now you just unleashed a fucking angry, foul mouthed, bad person. So fuck you.
There you go, dog. Shit. I don't know if I'd have been canceled yet, but if it come, it come. You know what I mean? Cancel me and you'll be back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You'll be back just like you're back now.
yeah. No, I was running a production studio, film production studio, for 7 months. They lured me in with we
Sorry.
we need some help on a production, and then by the time I knew it, it became a job, and I was running the studio. And
Damn.
what happened was somebody was watching my Facebook page, who was a guy who was doing a production at the studio and putting a lot of money into the studio, and he said to the CEO, the owner of the studio, "I'm going to cancel this guy because of Metro was the one where he said that he was going to cancel me over." Then I found out a week before he had seen me say something about Kid Rock and I can't have this pro gay shit on my on. It's like my personal Facebook page that this guy was monitoring. So
That
it's
shit is crazy.
like I don't need to
Dog,
fight. Yeah,
in my shows, I tell people, I say, man, listen, we all here to have a good time. If you're too black, you're too white, you're too gay, you're too straight, you're too red, you're too blue, you're too conservative, you're too Democrat, whatever you two is, leave that shit at the door and take the stick out your ass. Let's have a good time for the time we here. You
love
can
it.
pick up, man, you can pick up that bullshit at the door. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
want to get out here and you want to say, man, I'm super, super black. You know what I'm saying? Okay, do that shit later on. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm super, super gay. Okay, do that shit later on. Because I'm going to talk about all you motherfuckers and I'm going to probably piss half of y'all off.
right. Um, the people who are giving you the most shit are fellow comedians, right?
Dog, they are some of the worst. You're right. They give me the most shit. I
Right,
give you an example, dog. Like I do these PSAs to all comedians. Now, I'm not coming from a place of comic aficionado.
right,
I'm coming from a place from where somebody who stepped in this game that knows nothing. That wish if I had some stuff where somebody was telling me the do's and don'ts of comedy as they go along and just putting the knowledge out there for free, mind you, where you don't put it in a book or have to pay for it or anything. That's all I'm doing with my PSAs. And the comedians I have encountered with those, they act as if I'm acting like I am the know all be all of comedy.
they assume that you're coming at them lecturing them rather than just saying, "I'm sharing my experience." Because I would think it would be a good lesson, no matter. I don't care if you're in the game 30 years.
Yes, sir.
What you're going through and looking back at it and you're documenting your experience in it is a valuable lesson, no matter how long you've been in the game. Because oh yeah, that's right, I forgot about all that shit. Whatever, it can be a reminder, or it could be something else that you, even 30 years in, still have not gone through yet, that you have to say, "Oh yeah, watch out for that red flag." So all of it, but they just looking for a fight. And what it comes down to is insecurity with themselves. Where does this guy?
Mm,
Where does this guy be an expert? First of all, you never said you were an expert, but that attitude is because they don't feel secure within their own selves. No matter how long they've been doing it, they still feel like I got to prove I'm better than this guy. That kind of,
wow.
yeah,
I never even looked at it like that. I mean, just the way you described, that's the place that I was coming from.
yeah.
Dog, I even had to do a PSA because I got so much slack for him. I did a PSA that said, I don't know shit.
I
You know
know.
what I mean?
I saw that one. Yes.
Yeah, like I'm not anybody trying to tell anybody anything. I'm just documenting my experiences. That's
Right.
all.
Yeah. Now, first time you were on this program, you were with a lady called Keely Smith. She's
Uh-huh.
also like you. And I'm very proud of both of you. Not that I have anything to do with it, but proud to know both of you because I feel like both of you are going at it seriously. Like people use the phrase "chasing the dream." It is a dream, but it's a realistic dream that can be done if you work hard at it, you have a plan, and all this stuff. I'm seeing too many comedians who are not like approaching it like you and Keely are,
Yes, sir.
but they're going at it with this. I need to hit a 5-run home run. I'm not really working it, but I'm going to enter this contest. I'm going to put all my money into entering a contest, get there, and like thinking I'm going to go up against guys who've been doing it for 10 and 20 years, and I'm going to win. And all of a sudden, I'm going to be on the Tonight Show next week, and then I'm going to be my special 2 weeks from now on Showtime and all that stuff. It's like it doesn't happen like this. Watch Walton Keeley. That's how it happens. You got to work.
Man, you got to work. You got to be out on that road. You have to grind. I
Right.
think people, unfortunately, think comedy is easy because there's two types of funny, in my opinion. You got the backyard funny or the
Right.
barbecue funny, where all your friends and family, they know you. And so even if it's not funny, something you say, they may give you a sympathy laugh, a chuckle, like one of those sympathy claps. I see what you did there. But when you hit that stage and you don't know nobody and nobody knows you, they don't give a fuck about who you are. They don't know who the fuck is Uncle Walt. Make
Right.
me laugh, motherfucker. That's what you here to do, because I'm here to laugh.
That's
Now, if
right.
you could do that under that pressure, that's real comedy right there.
I paid money to laugh, motherfucker.
Man, come on. Money, tickets, parking. I done bought some drinks, all this shit, hoping to get some pussy at the end of the night. And I need you to help me with that, Walt. Make this shit funny.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, man.
Didn't they say Tom Brady was thinking about being a comedian and shit?
Yeah, well, now, you know what? He thinks it's easy. You're talking about people who think, and I said this at the time when he said that. You know what? He's going to find out that you don't start out as a champion. You don't get drafted as the number one pick and then go up and just make it easy and make it to the Super Bowl. He's going to be like he's not tired of losing yet.
Well, he about to face a big loss if he's really going to try to be a comedian and get in this game, because you face more losses than wins.
Right. And so I think it's a good lesson for anybody who has had the great fortune that he's had to just experience winning in your life. If that's all you've ever done is win, get into stand-up comedy and it'll make you a more rounded person.
It surely will. Now, I can imagine if Tom's really going to do this, he's going to draw some big crowds just to come and see Tom Brady.
Right.
But then at a certain point, it's going to be, okay, now, Tom, you say you're a comedian, make me laugh.
Right. Yeah. You know what? And so many people just think it's so easy. But there's that you're right. There are several kinds of funny, but the kind of people who can make people laugh in a party or whatever, those people are not structured and not professional. And no, even if you're funny in that way, naturally funny, there's a skill level that comes with getting timing and understanding, not stepping on your own jokes and not getting too excited and timing the whole thing out. And so it's not that easy. And I watch it with an analytical eye because this is how I am now. I analyze everything. But I'm seeing the difference between a professional, Erica Rhodes, I saw her 2 weeks ago, and
Yes,
she
sir.
stood with a microphone in between jokes while laughter was going on for over a minute and 10 seconds or something without saying a word, just holding the mic as, they're laughing. I'm not gonna step on my own shit. I work hard for this laugh. Let the laugh go as long as it needs to go before I interrupt it and take it. That takes some, experience to learn that. It doesn't come easy. And the people I'm seeing who are not there yet, they don't get that. They just like, I'm just gonna keep talking. Don't. And somebody starts to laugh, they still keep talking. Wait, they're starting to laugh. Shut up.
Right. That's one of the hardest things, because when you get that laughter, you think, oh, I got him. And it's so
Right.
addictive. You want more and more of it. So sometimes you can find yourself just rambling, like I do, because I'm a talker.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's just hard to figure out when to shut the fuck up sometimes on that stage.
Right. Now, are you how you finding the work? Are you making phone calls? Are you just going up to open mic? How are you getting stage time?
I'm trying several different avenues. I learned in this game, you have to start over in every region. Even if I make it to the top of the tops in Arkansas, nobody may know me in Oklahoma or in Missouri. So it's funny where you always starting at the bottom for each place you go. So I do go to open mics, and that's how I started off originally. Just kept going to open mics, getting my name out there, letting people know I was a comedian, and then people would reach out to me through Facebook and other avenues to book me for shows. I haven't actually called and said, hey, I'm a comedian, I want to put on the show. I did that when I was producing the show, not when I was, trying to feature myself. I think the way you get featured, you got to get out there and you have to do the work. You got to
Right.
be seen. And even if you got to go to each region and, like I said, start over again in that region, that's a part of this game. That's how you get respect in the game, being on that road.
Right. So, and you're right. Now, the guys I've been talking to have said, number one, you're right about all the things you said, but they say networking is a big part of it too, and just sitting and getting to talk to people, getting your name out there, becoming friends. So they, if there's a spot on a show that they think of your name, and that can open up opportunities, all that kind of stuff. How far are you traveling from Fort Smith? Are you're located in Fort Smith, right? Is that
Yes, sir. I'm located in Fort Smith. And
so,
right now, I'll go anywhere to get a mic.
really?
Anywhere. And driving, like I said, I'll drive to Chicago. That's 10 hours away from me. I'll drive anywhere to get a mic. I was going to get up with my dog Killer Keely in Arizona, but her career stepped up where she wasn't hosting that mic anymore, and now Keely, she's actually traveling between Arizona and California doing a road dog thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So like I
She
said, I'll
went
go
down to
anywhere.
Bisbee last weekend. Bisbee's a pretty good, artsy community, and lots of stuff going on there. That's very cool. Good to see that her doing that too, and really taking off. Two of you guys, I'm telling you, like out of all the people who were at that level coming in, you two are my prize guests, because in my opinion, you're doing it right, and I really, really concerned about people who I care about who aren't doing it right, and are trying to like say, well, look at them, because that whole, swinging for the fences idea. I get it. Everybody wants to be a star, but you're not. First of all, if you get that opportunity and you haven't put in the work, you're going to expose yourself because you're not ready for stardom. And somebody sees you and you have a great night, and somebody says, yeah, we want to give you like a headlining spot in a great room. And then you're going to get there and you realize, I haven't perfected my craft yet anyway. And you're going to fall on your face, and it's going to be disappointing. You got to go through the baby steps, no matter how difficult they are. It's hard to have that conversation with people, because everybody wants to be, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, whatever they want to be on Showtime. It's like not happening today.
And they want it now. They
Right.
want it right now. They think it happens instantly like that, man. It's such a long process on how to learn how to do stand-up.
Yeah. What is Comedy Carousel saying? Walt has someone better to talk about, that some loser that lied to him about tour dates himself. That other dude doesn't deserve the signal boost. The show is about Walt. I don't even know did I say something about a guy who
Nah, I think they know what's coming up. I think they want to get to the conversation that's coming up, and sounds like he said, "Don't waste time on that guy." But
Oh yeah, lying is a big strong element in entertainment and the arts, and managers and bookers and promoters. People are full of shit. There's a lot of shit out there, and that's I guess probably the biggest lesson from year number one. And I know a lot of people who just still, they've been in it 5-6 years. They're still pretty gullible with all of the. At least it sounds like somebody tried to pull one over on you, and you learn from it at least, right?
I did learn from it, but there's still an element of embarrassment that nobody wants to think back. Man, I got scammed, I got took. You mean you look at yourself within and say, how did I allow something like this to happen to me? You know what I mean? And then you start to doubt yourself on some levels that, am I a gullible person? Am I naive? No, I'm just a baby in the game that I'm playing, but I'm learning valuable lessons.
Right.
Learning valuable lessons. And then the second element is, dog, I don't want nobody else to be had by this person or someone like this person. So look for these clues. For me, reaching out to you, dog, I want to do a big PSA about scammers in the comedy game. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole lot of it going on, and I hear what you're saying. You want to kind of take that obstacle out of the way of other people coming down the road for that. You've gone through it. You don't want to see other people go through it. But on some level, I feel like if you kind of almost need to get your ass fucked by some
Mm.
strangers so that you can say, "Wow," because if I see it happen to Walt, I say, "Wow, that sucks that it happened to him. I'll try not to let it happen to me." But if it happens to me, I'm damn sure not going to let it happen to me again. You know what I mean? I've got, I still feel
Right.
a sting in my ass of that big fucking dick that just rammed me. that I ain't
That's the
letting that
truth,
happen
dog.
again.
That's
So,
the damn truth.
yeah. So I don't want to if I think that's John Lachlan saying this. I don't want to belabor the point, but there are lots of different kind of scams. What kind of scam? Because the one that got me all upset recently was somebody charging $50 for an audition to be in a Zoom show. No guarantee you were actually going to be in the Zoom. So here we're going to charge you $50 so that you can audition for me and I can say no to you. That
Mhm.
seems like a scam to me, and I'm not down with that. What kind of scam are we talking about here? Somebody promising you stage time, you drive all the way there, and there's nothing there, and you sold tickets. What are we talking about?
Well, with this particular scam, as all scams go, like the African Prince scam, they promise you the world.
Yeah.
This guy had reached out to me last October, actually. So I'm only like 5-6 months in the game. He reached out to me last October with this grand opportunity to go on an international tour from Miami to Montreal.
Wow.
And then at a certain point you kind of you don't want to miss the opportunity, and you think, man, this is a grand opportunity. I need to jump on it while I can. So this thing has been working since October, and I know that if you're putting together an international tour with 20 cities, that's something that's going to take a bit of time to make it happen. So I expected it to be long, and this guy pulled in two other comedians where he was promising us all the world, where we will go on this tour from Miami to Montreal, all up the Eastern Seaboard, stopping at all the cities along the way. We had North Carolina. We had some dates in New York, supposed dates in New York, Connecticut, Philadelphia, all the way up until we get to Montreal. And then, we have a good time. He sent, I have screenshots of this guy saying we've secured dates, I've secured funding. And the way that he got me was he sent me some money, dog. He sent me a
Wow.
deposit.
Oh.
And I can assume he sent us all a deposit because we had a group chat, and he would say, hey, almost working on almost all the funding is almost complete. We'll be sending another deposit in a week to a week and a half. So this
Wow, that's dedication to the scam.
dog, yes. He put money in to get the scam rolling. And kind of fast forward to the end, I was talking to a friend about it, and he told me, he said he could have scammed y'all if everything had worked together, where he was able to get dates and put y'all on stages, and the tour would be somewhat successful. Later on, he might have came and said, hey guys, I need y'all all to invest $5,000 a piece for the next tour. And he would have had us based off of happened to put something together this time. Things
Right.
could have went way bad, dog. Another thing I thought about, if this guy had scammed somebody else before, and he's working the same area, and he's here with new people, and I caught you scamming me, dog, I may want to cut your throat.
Right.
And everybody else with you, fuck them too. And that's what really made me angry about it, is that this con artist put my life in danger.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't think about that ever. The possible what could really go wrong here, and that's the this. But I'm certain nobody does that for first time and has it thought out that clearly that I'm going to send them a little bait money and all that stuff. I'm certain just hearing the story that this guy had to have done it before, uh, and it's only a matter of time. But yeah, you hope it doesn't turn out to be something like criminal. I mean, what he's doing is criminal, but I mean the retaliation doesn't turn out to be something criminal and somebody ends up killing him, going to jail for life over it, whatever. Oh my
It could
God.
happen. It really could happen. And I'm not like, some scared person to say, oh, that could happen. Listen, man, when you're talking about a con artist that's manipulating people,
Right.
people take that to the heart. And when they find out they've been manipulated, ain't no telling what they might do. It's like a husband getting cheated on by his wife. When he find out he been manipulated, sometimes he go and kill the other fella.
Yeah. But there is the other thing where you kind of mentioned before, where nobody wants to feel like they've been had. So a lot of people would just, and that's what I think he's counting on, is a lot of people will be so embarrassed by it that they wouldn't even tell anybody about it. And that's how you get to keep doing the scam, because all your victims are too embarrassed to let people
Right.
know that they fell for it.
Well, I'm a damn comedian. I tell all embarrassing stories all the damn time. This is just another one to add to collection. That
I'm a
is the one
professional
thing he gave
embarrassment.
me, dog. He gave me plenty of fucking material, man.
That's and that's the thing about comedy and my, I've always treated my music career this way and my songwriting career this way. Everything that happens to me, everything that happens to me ends up being used and as material and fodder for writing some good stuff. So that's the only good thing that comes out of this, is you have an
That's
outlet.
it. That's the bright side. He not only sent me some money, some deposit money, he also paid for my plane ticket
Yeah.
to get me down to Florida.
Yeah, I get it. So is that the biggest disappointment you've had in the year?
That's been the biggest. That's been
Yeah.
the biggest because like I said, it's embarrassment. You tell everybody you're going on this international tour, and a lot of people look at you and laugh at you like, "Ah, get the fuck out of here. You ain't doing shit." Like I was at a gas station and I was talking to the attendant, and she was asking me about my career. I said, "Yeah, I'm going on tour." She said, "Where you going on tour? To the next town over?" And I was just like, I was thinking, you bitch. And I started naming off cities. Hey, Miami, New Jersey, blah, 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 da, da, da. And Montreal. She was like, oh. 3 days later, I'm back at fucking home. So yeah, I'm embarrassed. I feel like
Yeah.
shit. You know what I mean? But it's a part of the game too.
And that's part of how you got long-term hurt on this, because next time when you have a real tour set up and you're telling your friends and you're excited about this, your friend and people who know you're gonna say, "Yeah, it's like that last time when you went to Miami and Montreal and
Same shit, dog.
yeah, I've been there. But believe me, I've been there. You're bringing back some bad memories from 45 years ago now.
Dog, I quit a job, dog. I
Yeah.
quit my fucking job for this tour, man. And I think
Well,
what hurt me the most is he violated my trust.
yeah, of course. But you know what? That might be actionable. I don't know. The guy's probably in another state anyway, right? But it might be actionable to like litigate with that. I quit my job because this guy had promised me this tour. You know, Your Honor.
Litigate for what? This motherfucker ain't even got no place to live. Now,
Right.
dog, I ain't got no problem with homeless people. There's a difference between homeless and fucking bums. This
Right.
dude's a fucking bum. You understand?
Yeah.
Homeless people, hard times fall on them, and sometimes they find themselves living in a shelter or out their car, but they working and they trying to get back into a home. Bums, they live outside and they like that shit. You know what I'm saying? And they
Yeah.
scam and they play on people's emotions and tug at your heartstrings to get shit out of you. And that's what Mr. Tom Crowley has did to me.
Yeah. Well, fuck him. It's part of the past now. You're gonna move upward and onward, and good things are gonna happen to you.
Man,
Yeah.
you ain't lying, dog. We moving forward. Shit. I got a date next week. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
always working. You gotta be like a duck in this game. You gotta let that shit roll off your back. Cause there's a lot of shit that's gonna come at you, man.
Yeah. We
A lot of
gotta get you up here somehow. I'm working on producing. I have some avenues now. I'm starting to produce some shows for some people. Uh, Mostly the people who've been on the show, but also some friends and stuff. Uh, but I know it's a long way. Like Chicago, it's from Arkansas. This has got to be a 12-hour ride. But if I can hook it up, I will definitely see if I can get you on some of the shows that I'm producing. I would love to have you up here, man.
Thank you, dog.
Anyway,
Man, that's great, man.
You did start a live stream or some kind of podcast or something like that, or am I wrong about that? I could have sworn
No, you're absolutely right about that. I do a podcast, Real Talk with Uncle Walt. We
Real
usually talk, yeah, real talk, because I talk the real shit. Sometimes you're gonna get offended. So I'm surprised my shit ain't got canceled yet. But I talk about all the stories that ran across my view for the week. I bring some of my comedian friends on, and we just do a little bit of cutting up, have a little bit of fun. And I started the show as an avenue to express, to do some comedy when I'm not on the stage.
Right, good stuff. Well, that's good. I mean, you gotta. I think you're doing everything the right way and with the dedication, and that is a big part of it. It's just because you don't have a stage doesn't mean you can't work and can't improve on your craft. So good for you, man. I am glad to see that. Um, so when is the real talk? Do you do it on a regular scheduled basis, or just when you feel like it, or?
Other things got in the way. So now I'm getting back to doing it every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central, live on YouTube and Facebook. Come in, listen to me talk a little shit. Dog, let me mention this. I think writing is so important.
Yeah.
I'm on a writing team, working on a cartoon, just another way to express the comedy. So
Right.
writing is important as well. I just want to tell everybody that's listening, man, the pen is mightier than the sword. Even if you're not, the premier person on stage, the spotlight not on you, you can still get in this game and be in this game with a strong pen. One
Right.
example I like to look to is Dion Cole. He used to write for Conan. He is a brilliant comedian. One of my favorites out today. I don't know how many people know him. He was on the TV show Blackish, but his pen game is impeccable.
Who's that?
Dion Cole.
Dion
He's a
Cole.
comedian. Yes, sir. He was a writer for
Josh
Conan.
Johnson, who write for the Daily Show. Who was the South African guy who was the host when recently he left like last year?
Trevor Noah.
Trevor, yeah. He wrote for him, and now I saw him at the stand, and I think, oh my God, this guy was so good because he went up after Joe List, right? And Joe List had the room dying. Joe List like owned the room and had people like laughing hysterically. Josh Johnson comes up, and he's quiet, and I'm like, wow, what fucking balls to go up there. The room is fucking dying laughing, and he takes a minute to say, I'm gonna let that die down and start it up again on my terms and cook from scratch. I'm
Right.
gonna and he worked this. He started with a bit that was small, and I started thinking maybe he's not that funny because he's just talking for a minute. And then I'm thinking, wow, this is going to lead to something. This guy's got a set of brass balls on him. And then the bit he did was funny. But then by the time he was done, the room was rolling again, just like when Joe List left. And I was like, that was a fucking professional, man. This guy's one to watch.
That's what I was gonna say. That's professionalism at its best.
Yeah.
And like you say, take balls, let the crowd die down. Like,
Right.
hey, that was his energy. Now I'm
Right.
gonna let you get my energy. I'm gonna bring you back up to the same place, man. Like I say, it take balls to do.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to go on that stage and they laughing and they rolling. Hey man, let's get in there. Start doing my bits and keep the energy rolling.
Balls and confidence in knowing that, you know what, I know I can get this where I want to go. I don't have to ride on somebody else's coattails to get the laughs. I can make my own laughs. And you know what, I've been a big fan since then, and it's hard to kind of get behind some people like this. They're all over the place, and I'm posting like following on my Twitter and reposting their stuff and trying to get people to notice them. It's difficult because I got so many people now that I am really becoming a real big fan of, not just their comedy but their approach to professionalism and their craft and all that kind of stuff.
Yes,
So
sir.
too many people to promote. That's my
That's a good problem to have,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
Listen, when you producing your shows, that's a good problem to have. Like, man, I got a bunch of funny people I can put in front of people, and that's a great problem to have, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know what? So producing your own shows now, are you putting a lot of effort into that, or are you just going to the mics? What are you doing?
Well, with producing your own shows, I think it comes out of a need to get on a mic. When you following these mics and these open mics, and working for free is good, and working for opportunities, but opportunities don't pay the bills, brother. So I think a lot of comedians get in the producing of the show's game to actually make some money and still be able to, have some mic time. Because, as a producer, you're going to be the host and you're going to feature some comedians who you think are funny, but you still get that little bit of time where you can make some money and spread some money around to your other comedians.
I like that.
So
Yeah, it's important. And I think, you know what, just having the experience John Locken, when he was on the program, talks about the benefit of knowing production, knowing good sound, knowing good lighting, and making sure, all those elements that go into production. There's clubs that I'm working with here, Governors, Comedy Club, Brokerage, and McGuire's. They have the best sound systems of any clubs in New York. Now, you can go into New York City and Brooklyn and not hear it. This is so important, and I don't know why clubs don't get this lesson that people, if comedy, they need to hear every word. They need to hear every nuance. You can't have a bad sound system. What do you fucking say?
right. Especially if you're in a large room, you got to hear the people in the back. People have to hear you. They have to get the laugh like the people sitting up front.
Right. Yeah. So the clubs, they have these tiny little speakers that are over every table, like these little Bose speakers. So no matter where you are, you have a speaker right near that's coming through completely clear. It's like, yes, this is what comedy's supposed to be. Because, if you can't hear the fucking jokes, you might as well not even go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you said those little speakers, that remind me of, you remember going to the drive-in and shit, you put the little speakers sitting up there on your window and shit and tune it up. That's old school shit right there. That's old school shit.
I'm surprised you're old enough to remember that, Walt.
Now, dog, I look good, but I'm old. Look at the grays, dog. Look at the grays, dog.
I know you're not a kid, but that seems like it's got to be 60 years ago to me. I mean, I'm thinking about the drive-in stuff where you put the speaker on the window. Millennials, they're like, what the fuck are they talking about?
I do a lot of that in my show too, man. I talk a lot about a lot of shit from back in the day, man.
You mentioned writing. Now,
yes,
how much time do you put in writing?
I write every day.
You write every day?
I write every day. Yes, sir.
Discipline? Do you like put it set apart like 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, or not necessarily those hours, but do you do it at the same time every day? Do you like have a writing session every day that you sit down? This is my time to write.
It depends on what I'm focusing on writing. If I'm focused on writing, for a script, if I'm writing a script, then yes, I put specific time to write that script, but I don't want to push it because it's all creative and I don't want to force creativity because it comes out shitty, create shittity. But like when I think of something, I grab my book and immediately write it down.
That's what I was going to ask you. You're doing it longhand? You're writing it in a book?
I'm old school, dog. I write it in the book. I'm not typing shit on no phone and then lose it.
I don't old school, new school. I think that's the best way to do it because if you're planning on performing it, that's the best way to help you get into the flow of it. Because if you're just typing it or you're talking, voice to text stuff, it's not the same. You're not going through that visceral work of writing it down. I think that's an important. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it feels like that way to me anyway. It feels like that's the best way to prepare for stuff like that. Old school, writing it down.
You might feel like that, dog, because you're an old dog like me. You understand?
Yeah.
It's something about touching those pages and flipping those pages when I'm getting my set list together and I'm going through the jokes on what jokes I want to tell tonight. And sometimes it don't even go like that. But that writing is important. I tell people, if you can eat 3 times a day, you're a comedian, you can write 3 jokes a day.
Yeah. And the part about the writing stuff for me is I have, and I'm wondering if you experience this. I have periods of the day where I think of stuff and I'm like, man, that's a good bit. I'd like to work on that. And then I don't need to write this down right now. I'm in the middle of doing something. I'm out doing a chore or something. I don't need to write this down right now. I don't need to make a note about it. And then I go back home and I just have like a scene. I'm like, how the fuck did I think that was funny? Where was it going to go with that? And I lose it. And then this is happening to me a lot. Like that's a brilliant bit. But I don't need to write it down right in this moment. I got other things to do. And then you come back to it and you're like, I don't get what I thought that was funny, man. There's nothing funny there.
Yes, dog. It has happened to me. That's why I keep those 2 books on me. So as soon as I get something, I get it out and write it down. Because like you said, you will lose it. And I write it down. It's like when you taking notes. Everybody's notes are different and they personal. But if I write down a word, a line, or a phrase, it's gonna trigger my memory to what I thought was funny about it.
Right. That's what's important. It's not necessarily writing the whole thing out, but what was funny about it and how it connects to the funny. That's
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Do you find because I've been finding this a lot lately because I've been watching a lot of comedy and I've been attempting to write a lot of comedy. And I'm noticing people who are coming up with really, really, it's not joke theft. It is parallel thinking, whatever it is. It's like, because I saw 2 guys do this in the last week talking about uh, silent letters, like the word subtle, the B in subtle, like why we have those. And 2 guys working bits about that. And I was like, I know they haven't heard each other. One guy was from Finland, the other guy was Mark Norman.
Mhm.
And I know they're not joke thieves. Neither one of the guys I'm talking about are joke thieves, but they're doing bits that are extremely similar. Do you find that wow, that guy's got the same now I got to scrap that idea or any of that kind of stuff when you're doing the open mics and hear somebody do something like, fuck, that was my idea. I was going to work on that.
Absolutely. If somebody's talking about, that's why I pick subjects that nobody else talking about. Like
Right.
so I know. Listen, if you talking about this subject, then like I've influenced you to talk about this subject. Now you have thoughts and feelings about this subject that you think is funny. Like I do a bit about a gas station pill. You know, gas station Viagra. Oh, you seen them, dog? Have you seen them?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of women don't know about this. And I was at a show. Did a show with another comedian, and I do this bit a couple of times. The next thing I know, he's talking about gas station pills.
Uh,
So it can be an influence, but it can be, let me steal your joke or let me try a bit out. Like, what's yours, dog.
yeah.
Ain't no we talking about the same premise or we thought about the same thing. Wow, it was simple. When somebody is doing your material. There's no
Right.
doubt about it. It's words and phrases and experiences only happen to you that you brought into the bit so you can recognize your bit immediately. I did a bit about the Little Mer. It wasn't about the Little Mermaid. I did a bit about. It was about black versus white during sex, and I said the punchline was something like, "It don't matter if she's black or she white. It's all pink inside." That's what I said. And so this guy, he was doing a bit about doing the controversial of the Little Mermaid when the new black live action mermaid came out.
Right. Yeah.
And that motherfucker took my punch and put it right there.
Wow.
And now I don't know if, because I have been performing with this comedian at open mics, I don't know if he inadvertently just adapted it and ran with it, but I don't think so. I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt. The way he said it exactly like I said it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I know he's
Intonations, delivery, all that stuff. So yeah, you can have the same idea premise, but if something is too close, that yeah, it feels like it was stolen. What is John saying here about this? Uh, Cloud-based note keepers will prevent losing material. If you lose a notebook, you should write new joke notes in your phone and transfer it to a notebook. Losing a notebook is like losing a kid.
Man,
Yeah,
he ain't lying. He ain't lying. Sometimes I text him to my wife or I text him to myself. I'll write a message, text it to myself.
yeah. I found the comedian's notebook on a bus in LA one time. And I remember going through it. And there's some of it was apparent what was funny, but there was just some weird, one-liners written in there that didn't make any sense at all. And those were the funniest parts to us because we were getting high, just like, what is this dude thinking, man?
Right. I find myself being a comedian, I listen to less and less comedy.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to be inadvertently stealing from somebody, so I don't even listen to comedy. I listen to the greats,
yeah.
old comedy.
Um, I'm kind of trying to expand my horizons on that stuff because for years and years I wasn't open to new comedy. I was, and people my age, they're all stuck on Richard Pryor and George Carlin. Like, wake the fuck up, man. That was 40 years ago. There and if I say some of the names that are people who are out there performing now, they don't know who I'm talking about. Like, you're not really a fan of comedy. Then I don't care how much you love Richard Pryor or George Carlin or Red Fox or whatever. If that's what you're stuck on, you don't care about comedy anymore. Yeah, you wouldn't go to a comedy club. And this is my problem, Walt. Going to comedy clubs by myself. People look at me like he's a fucking cop. Look, the fucking narc just walked in. What's he doing?
Yo, dog, I don't know if it's the bald head that's giving you the Columbo vibe or what, but I can see that.
Yeah.
Thinking you the police when you come in. Like, watch
Oh
this
shit!
motherfucker
The
here.
narc's here. Let's not be funny now. And the whole room is like, is he gonna leave? Is he gonna leave?
I can see
I don't
that
want to
happening
ruin
to
it for
you.
people. I'm here because I don't have a lot of time in my life, and I want to fucking laugh while I'm here. That's why I'm here.
No doubt. But I just don't want to be clouded. Like I say, I love comedy. And this is one of the downfalls to it is just for me personally is I just don't watch it because I don't want nothing to get in my head from another comedian.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I that's why I didn't listen to the radio when I was trying to be a rock star when I was young. I purposely didn't listen to the radio because I didn't want to be overly influenced by and I'm very suggestive. Like I definitely if I hear something too much, I will adopt it and think it's mine. There's a lot of that
Mm-hmm.
going on.
Oh boy, it is.
Yeah. Um, Now are you expanding? Like, are you getting into? Because and I'm not sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I get both from comedians who are doing it, and they say they encourage this or they discourage this. This idea of becoming part of a clique or a group or just guys who hang out or guys, girls, whatever, who hang out, comedians who hang out together, but then they get known as kind of by club owners and people who are working around as this group and they're together, not together, they're not like a working team, but they're all associated and they bring in the same type of crowds. Is that are you in that kind of thing? Because it can have negative or positive effects and but there's a lot of it in comedy. Like everywhere I look you see these little pocket clicks like and I've experienced it on the show where I'm booking people from different groups. Like they all know each other over here. They all know each other. They're all friends over there, and they exclude these people. We don't like them. They don't like us. You in any of that, or you avoiding that?
Now, dog, you can tell by my demeanor, attitude, and the way that I carry myself, I don't fit into no fucking cliques.
Fucking Bass Reeves, the Lone Ranger out of Fort Smith, Arkansas.
You damn right. You know what I'm saying? I stand on my own, dog.
Is
I
it?
grew
Is
up
it?
an only child. I
Is
can
that
stand on my own.
is that a Fort Smith thing? Like I'm gonna be the Lone Ranger. Is that?
It must be because that's how I feel. Shit.
Yeah. I know, definitely. I was gonna get that the Lone Ranger stuff to introduce you today, like have that music come in. Who was
Man,
that
dog,
masked man?
I got
Yeah.
a personal story about that. You brought up that music when I was a kid, and my dad would be like, "Hey, go get me a beer." And he would time me and he would play the fucking Lone Ranger music. He would go, and I would run and go get that damn beer and make it back before the song was over, dog. Thank you for that memory, man. I ain't thought about that shit in fucking years, man.
See, now
Shout out to my pops.
that's got to make it into a movie. When we finally write a comedy movie, a vehicle for you, that's got to be in there somewhere. You play to your dad now, and you're gonna send the kid off.
I have to, man. That shit is great, man.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love those stories. Those were the days when you could do that. Now that would be child abuse. Somebody would find a reason to call the police on you and like get involved in your shit. This is the world we live in today.
That's how I started smoking. My dad would say, take this cigarette and go light it on the stove.
Yeah,
I'll take that cigarette, go get a couple of puffs and bring it back to him.
Fucking, it was weird that because there were laws on the books, but when I was a kid, when I was 5, 6 years old, my father would send me to the store to buy a 6-pack, and the guy would sell it to me like as a 5-year-old because I guess he assumed like a 5 or 6-year-old is getting it for his father. Nobody ever thought about any different times.
Dog, you ever got sent to the store with a note?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they sell you that legal shit because you got to know from the parents because it was a community, it was a neighborhood. I know
Yeah,
your mom and daddy sent you that note. I know what on the note. I know that you like schlick, malt liquor. You know what I'm saying? Get that. Shit has changed, but yeah, I did that shit. Yeah, they sold me cigarettes, beer, all kind of legal shit as a kid.
right. Yeah. Uh, I wanted to talk to you about because my friend Will, who has
Mhm.
been on the show, and Will has got an interesting story. He was a young man in comedy, went to jail for a couple of years, then got out of jail, was back in comedy, ended up robbing a flower shop, and then got 10 years in prison, and then
Ooh.
got out, and he started comedy again in when he got out in 2018, 2019, and back in the game. And but he was in Grants, New Mexico, and then his buddy called him up and said, "I got a couple of dates in North Dakota. Come up to South Dakota where I live, and then we'll do the dates in North Dakota, and you come and work the circuit around here." Now, this is what he's doing, but he's he's one of the guys I'm talking about where he's going to he's entering festivals and hoping to win contests like Last Comic Standing without really taking a hard look on having a strategic plan and stuff. And I'm like, it's fine to have a dream. It's fine to be chasing a dream. Everybody, and not that you're not putting in the work, but to have a plan, to actually think about what's my next strategic step. Are you thinking in those terms, or are you thinking day to day? Where can I hustle today to find some stage time? Where can for next week? All that kind of stuff. Or do you think 6 months down the road, a year down the road, where am I planning out? Where am I going to be in September? Are you at that point where you're kind of thinking long game?
Actually, I'm doing both. With my writing, is more of a long game, especially with like I said, I'm writing for this cartoon. It hasn't been released yet, but that's more of my long game where I can get my funny out and with the pen. Like I said, the pen is mightier than the sword. The short game, I'm still getting people that's reaching out to me and booking gigs like that. So I got some dates that not too far out, maybe about a month out. I got a few dates on into the summertime, but I do like a combination of both. In regards to the gentleman you was just speaking about with these festivals and these comedy contests, I think they're great to put yourself out there in front of large crowds. But in regards to winning, sometimes they based on how many people you brought or who's in the crowd. Or in my experience with comedy contests, the funniest comedian doesn't win. The person
Right.
who had the best set that day wins the contest.
That's a really really good point, and people don't get that. Uh, and even people who are entering them and performing in them don't get that everybody has ups and downs. You could get, Babe Ruth, went 0 for 4 quite a few times in his career, even though he was hitting home runs. When he hit a home
Right.
run, everybody stood up and cheered, but there were definitely days where he took a collar and felt like a bum. And so,
Absolutely.
no matter how, I don't think I was going to say Michael Jordan, but I don't think he ever had a day where he didn't score 35 points. I'd have to look at that. You know, did Michael Jordan ever have a bad day in his career? I wonder. I don't know.
It's all relative. It will be what would be considered. Well, Michael only had 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists. Where
Yeah,
the hell?
yeah.
Get his ass out of his head today.
Right, right. Not feeling it today. That would be a bad day. Yeah, so it's all that. But it's important to recognize that. And the other thing, I hate the idea of competition because as human beings, we are geared for to make everything competitive. Like, oh, there's got to be a winner and got to be a loser. But the arts, to me, if you get caught up in that, like I'm better than him or I want to be the best and all that stuff, you're taking away from what you got in it for. I just want to make people fucking laugh. I just want to make people dance. I just want to make people sing. Whatever it is, if you start thinking about I got to be better than that guy, then you're not thinking about I just want to make people laugh. I just want to bring joy to people. You're thinking about that guy instead of them, the audience, right? So I don't
You're
like
absolutely
competition.
right. You're
Yeah,
absolutely right about that, dog. Like, man, how can I? We're not in competition because the way you do your art is the way you do your art.
right.
I And some people gonna like your art, some people not gonna like your art. So it's really not a competition amongst comedians, but we are human beings and we hear that laughter. Well, I want to have the best set tonight. Well, I want to be the funniest comedian here. Well, I just want to be better than you
Right.
sometimes when there's no need for that because nobody can do you like you do you.
Yeah, but it's also good for business, which is where it comes from. Like the people who are counting the money think, well, competition audiences will come in for that because I don't know, we have a gladiator or mentality, like you know.
You're
So
right, we do.
it will put people in the seats. That part of it, the promotion part of it, a drag for you, or it just you accept it as part of what you got to do because it's not fun.
Well, actually, creating the flyers, I like that because again, you get to express your creative juices in another avenue.
Right,
It's just like writing, or I do music too that I don't talk about because I just do music for fun for myself to listen to because I enjoy the arts. But I do enjoy creating the flyers, but the whole thing, like I'm a one-man army. I do
right.
everything. The promotion, the marketing, sell tickets. I do everything I can. I see why people have agents and assistants and media people because it's good to just focus on your art and put
Right.
all your energy into that as opposed to all the tedious things that we run through in life, paying bills and booking dates and keeping up with calendars. I usually, try to get my wife to help me in with some of this and be my assistant slash promoter and keep me straight with dates and what I got going on. But it's a heavy undertaking, especially when you're by yourself.
Good that have a wife that would actually do that. Now, I'm gonna just get on my little soapbox here, and it's that, and whether this has any meaning for you, you can take it or leave it. But for me, my biggest regret in life is that I was a one man army, doing everything myself, and my first wife wanted to help me. She was in the studio all the time, and I resisted it. And she would a lot of times, if I look back now, her
Yes, sir.
advice and her business savvy stuff, I did not let her have enough influence because she was right and I was wrong. But because I was a control freak and I did not want to be a John Lennon being steered by Yoko,
Go
that old
right.
fucking idea in my head. I didn't accept the help, and then by the time I started looking for help, I was older, and my friends had kind of spread out, and so it's good to have people. It's definitely good to have a supporting cast around you, people who believe in you and can help. And then if you get that, and somebody offers it, don't be a fucking prideful prick like me, and a control freak, and accept the help because as I got older, I thought collaboration is important. I need somebody to bounce these ideas off of, whether it's creating a flyer even and say, "What do you think about this? Does this work?"
Mm,
And have somebody say, "You know what? It could be better if you did this or that," just to get ideas and stuff. Really important to have that collaborative team. Absolutely. And as it gets harder and harder to find time to promote yourself, I find a lot comedians I know who are really successful spending too much time on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and stuff trying to promote themselves and
mm.
not working on their craft because it's a necessity. It's not like
It
they're doing it because
is.
they want to be there. I got to spend all this time fucking telling people about my gig tomorrow night, and then next day I got to be on Twitter all day and Facebook all day talking about. And when do you get to write? When do you get to be creative? When do you get to come up with new stuff? You can't because you're fucking doing stuff on Twitter.
You're right, dog. Like, let me ask you a question. Somebody at this point in my career, should I be looking for a manager at this point, or
If you
for a
could,
young?
if you could find somebody who believes in you and you that you can trust, those two things, somebody who truly believes in, I truly believe in you, and you could trust me, but I don't have a whole lot that I can help you with, but I can, at least up here, try to get you into some dates. But somebody like me who really believes in you and that you can like vet them and say, I can trust them, I would say yes, if you can find that person definitely employ their services, but it's not, it's almost impossible. You got to be lucky to find somebody who has both those qualities belief in you, like the belief that it has to match your belief in yourself.
Yes,
Somebody
sir.
like me who says, Walt has got the right approach. I believe that he's got the talent. He can do this. If it's just a matter of time. and they're not going to rip you off. Like they're not going to be like thinking, how can when he does make it, I gotta have power of attorney so I can get in his bank account.
Right.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do, but yes, if it's never too soon to have somebody who can help and guide you. And the biggest part of being a creative person is managing the left right brain thing, the creative side of your brain that just wants to do stuff, and
Yes,
then the
sir.
business side that needs to get your ducks in a row and be a business person. That business side of your brain always wants to kill the creative side of the brain. He doesn't like the creative side of the
Right.
brain. Like, shut the fuck up, you hippie. We're about making money. But and then the other side saying, "What? Fuck you, man. I'm just trying to make people laugh." And
Right.
they're always at war. I mean, so some people get naturally good at it, but for others, they need that other half, whether that comes in the form of a spouse, a friend, relatives, but somebody you can trust, somebody who believes in you. Yeah, man, I think I would definitely like to see you have that, so you could just be funny and know that
Right.
this guy's got your bookings taken care of, he's got your travel schedule taken care of, all that kind of stuff, your social media stuff, so you don't have to worry about that, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you
Yeah.
get better
So
than that.
I guess
Yeah.
when I move up to New York, you got me on the management, dog. Hey y'all, dog just announced he gonna be managing Uncle Walt as soon as he can move his ass up to the northern East Coast.
Jackie Martling the other day, I was talking to him about Will's situation, and he said, South Dakota? What the fuck is he trying to make it in South Dakota for? I mean, there are places, and not yours is a little different because Arkansas, some people would say that about Arkansas too, but that southeast corridor where you are, that is a hotbed of comedy but within those states there, I'd say from Arkansas to Florida over to Georgia and maybe the Carolinas, that there's lots of comedy going on down there. So and Louisiana, all of that, there
Texas,
is
don't forget
definitely,
Texas, dog. It's a
yeah,
great scene in Texas. I mean,
yeah.
Houston, Dallas, Austin, especially with Joe Rogan being there now, that shit is blowing up like popcorn.
You know what? Laurie Kilmartin yesterday said she's in Austin, and she said her Uber driver was telling her jokes about there's no ham in hamburger, there's no dog in hot dog, and all. And she said Austin is a comedy town because the cab driver's doing bits for her. And I
Ain't that some
said, you
shit?
know what? It used to be a music town in the '90s when I went there. It was a music town. The problem is musicians wanted to get paid, so they said, "Fuck it, let's make it a comedy town. We don't have to pay anybody."
Right, you gotta make comedians shit, but opportunities.
Yeah. All you have to do is tell comedians there's other comedians coming here, and they'll come and they'll work for free because they're used to getting taken advantage of. Fucking shame,
Are,
man.
are we the only ones that are used to working for free and almost find it okay at times? Is
Yes.
that a sentiment felt by a lot of comedians, or is it just me?
No, it's the nature of the beast because there's a lot of things that go into this. It's what society values, and I've talked about this at length. Our values are strange. We will pay somebody who can throw a football $150 million, but somebody who can make you feel better, we don't want to pay them.
Damn.
Somebody, it's insane because it sounds like I'm being overly dramatic here, but laughter really is medicine. It may not be the best medicine, but it's an important ingredient in life, and we don't value it enough to say this person is doing this for me as a service. He deserves to get paid. And for some reason, however it got started, it became normalized with club owners saying you got to pay your dues before you get paid. And how long? There was never say, how long do I have to do this for? 6 months? How long do I have to be your fucking slave for? Does it a year to 5 years? I just want to know how long am I going to have to suck your dick before you fucking pay me something?
Right.
They won't say. So it's different for everybody. When you break through, when it's your time to say, I'm not coming unless there's money. Send me a fucking deposit, and there better be my paycheck when I get there. I don't know how you get to that point. Maybe John has some more clarity about where you fucking cross that line, where you can just say, I ain't showing up unless there's fucking paying it for me.
Dog, speaking of which, I want to thank you for the Road Comics of America, man. Listen, man, that group that you got helps, especially a baby like me, a whole lot. Where it's legitimate people on there looking for legitimate comedians that's willing to pay. You know what I mean? And the prices range, it varies, and it got something for everybody's level. So thank you for that group, dog. From the heart, man, for real. Thank you
Well,
for that group.
John put that group together, and it's a fucking great thing. And I'm really surprised that it's not. He's got a good eye for who we lets in, I guess. I'm really surprised that it's not this carnivorous dog eat dog fucking thing. Because when we first started looking at it, I said, you know what, this is going to end up being like a lot of these musician groups where they're all trying to undercut each other, steal gigs from each other, all that kind of stuff. But it's turning out really good. And I'm really glad to be a part of it. It's a great thing. Yeah, I'm
Me
glad to
too,
do
man. Thank you so much for that, man.
it.
Go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to ask you now. Oh, the emotional stuff. Because after you come off, and it's a tough question to ask to kind of put into words, but after I come off stage off a good night, I'm like, oh yeah, man, this is why I did this, and I'm like on a high, and it could last for like a week or 2 weeks, and I go through periods like a athlete where I slump for a while, had like 4 bad gigs in a row, and then 5 or 6 good gigs in a row. But those 4 gigs in a row, I want to quit. How do you manage your emotional stability in between the ups and the downs of wow, I killed tonight. Wow, I fucking bombed, and the difference between how you feel on that and keeping true to yourself and saying, okay, it was just one night, just one fucking bomb. Next time it's gonna. Because for me, I want to give up after that fucking bomb. I want to give up, and then after I have a great night, I'm like, I'm sure I'm never gonna feel like I want to quit again. But and managing my emotions has always been difficult through 45 years of doing it. How do you stay on an even keel?
I think whenever I have a bad night in front of an audience, I always analyze it and saying, it wasn't the audience fault, it was my fault. Maybe I didn't pay enough attention to the audience and pick the right jokes for that audience. Maybe I was dead set on talking the shit I wanted to talk tonight and didn't give a damn about my audience. So, when you leave the stage, you had a bad set immediately. And so to stay even keel about it, I think a support system like you mentioned earlier is great. Like I say, I work out a lot of bits with my wife. She be the first one to hear a lot of my shit, and either I know if it's good based on how hard she laughs or not. And she'll tell me, hey, man, she watches the set, she's like, you lost them right there, or you did. So I think it's having a good support system and being realistic with yourself and just keeping focus on, I'm here to make people laugh. Damn, I
Sounds
didn't
like
make them laugh tonight.
Sounds like you
How
got
can
a
I?
good woman, Walt. Because the couple of times you mentioned your wife here, very much in a positive life and supportive of what you're doing, and I appreciate that. You reminded me. My wife is she's not very funny most of the time. Uh, she's a dad joke type. She really old fashioned, goofy old dad joke stuff, and it's like I could save that for your friends because. But the other night she had me fucking rolling. She was doing me. She said, "You know how I know there's ice cream in the house?" I said, "What?" And she picked up there was a spent spoon, and then she said, "I could see you with the frozen fucking ice cream," and you're like, "I'm getting this now." And so every time I see a spoon that's bent up like this, I know there's ice cream in the house. And then she was doing me to me, and I thought, well, that's the fucking funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Man, isn't that great, man? It's great. Listen, my wife do me, my kids do me. They all be doing their version of me. I say, oh, you think you're funny, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
good that I'm glad that they're supporting you through this because do they get well, how much longer do you get paid? Are they giving you any kind of time pressure like that? How much longer till Daddy, how much longer till we move to the big house?
Not Consciously, perhaps subconsciously, they are because it's definitely a change in lifestyle
Yeah. I get it. What
for
do you
us
mean?
all.
What do you mean you went from working and earning money to working and not earning money?
Because the bills don't stop, they needs don't stop. I got a daughter that's graduating high school this year, man. You talking about prom, graduation, and all of this and all of that.
Right,
Shit, the bills don't stop. But
right.
man, they've been very supportive and they believe in it. They believe in what I'm doing. And I
God
don't think
bless you, man. That's a great thing to have. It's a great thing to have, and I hope you realize just how special that is because not everybody has that. I have a friend who he had to give up on comedy because his woman was pressured him out of it. Basically,
wow.
and that's how. And you know what? Everybody's got to make their own decisions on that kind of stuff, but. It's a really hard thing, and you can't counsel anybody. You can't say, "Listen, when you get to be my age, you're gonna say, I wish I would have left that bitch." But the truth is, if somebody is forcing you to give up on who you are, what you want to do with your life, you're not meant to be with that person. They gotta
Man,
they either want you for who you are and want to be with you for who you are or not. But you can't. I want you to be somebody, and then you're gonna be a miserable prick, and you're gonna be thinking about this every day of your life, and you're gonna come home from a job that you hate, thinking I should be in comedy. And why are you such an angry guy? Well, because you're making me be somebody I'm
absolutely, that's what it is.
not.
I
Yeah,
tell people don't stifle your creativity, man. For so
yeah,
many years, when I was stuck in the corporate rat race, I was not expressing my creativity through any avenues.
right.
I wasn't doing anything creative, and it wasn't until everything changed and I became a comedian that I realized how much I missed out on myself for
Yeah,
years and years and years, not doing anything creative, painting, writing, singing, whatever, not doing anything. It's like I told my daughter, don't never let anyone stifle your creativity. Always
fucking
have
A.
time for that because it's
Yeah.
important to the essence of who you are.
Yep. Well, great stuff. Now, before I let you go, this cartoon thing you're working on, is that close to fruition, or are you gonna? Do you have an avenue for that, or are you just doing it right now and putting it together, and then see about how do you monetize it afterwards?
No, one of my comedian friends, he has commissioned me, and we got paperwork. Paperwork is important. When somebody presents you paperwork, they legitimate at
Yeah,
least.
yeah,
You know
that's
what I'm
true.
saying? Now read that motherfucker and see if you're getting fucked or not. However, a comedian friend of mine presented me with some paperwork to start writing on his cartoon. He has a network that he's going with. We're writing a trailer right now in hopes of, you know, having that big dream of getting it picked up, and we can go from there and get some seasons out
Fucking
of the
A, man.
pen.
Well, good luck with that. If there's anything I can do to help, whether it's open some doors, share the stuff with some network executives that I might know, anything I can do to help support that, you let me know, man. I am really, really glad that I got to know you and you've been part of this program. I hope you continue to keep coming back. I'm really
Absolutely,
proud of
dog.
you and wish the best for you, man. I will take full credit when you fucking get your Showtime special. I'll be that wall. That's my wall.
And I'm like, that's my dog right there. Dog, let me mention one more thing before I go. I do got a movie coming out next month on the 20th. I went to North Carolina and we shot a small budget film. It's called Consequences. It's a story of two young men that find a gun, and there are definitely some consequences that happen with these two young men when they find this gun. I got a small role. I play a drug addict, but it's just another avenue of getting the funny out and just trying to do this thing the right way, dog. I want to say again, dog, thank you for all that you're doing. I know you're one of the real motherfuckers that believe me, because like you say, you fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? My posts, you always interact with me and shit. I know you believe in my shit, and I want to thank you, because never met you in real life, but you a real one, man, and I
Yeah.
appreciate your authenticity. Real shit.
Love it, man. Thank you for that. And please, when Consequences come out, the day it premieres or right around the time it premieres, come on back and let's get that out there and let people know about it. Because we could talk
Absolutely.
about it now and they'll say, "Oh yeah, it sounds good," but they'll forget about it. So that week, definitely remind me and come on back and let's pump that out and let people know about it.
I
Great,
surely will, dog, man. Thank you again, man. You the best, man. That's my
great to have you
dog.
here.
Thank you,
Enjoy your
dog.
weekend, man. I'll be talking to you and see you
You do
online.
this thing, brother. We'll see you later.
Bye for now. Uncle Walt, folks. Cool stuff. Looking forward to the movie stuff. Well, you gotta love Walt. He's doing it the right way. He's He's got the right attitude about everything, and he's a fucking great guy right down to the core. So, support Uncle Walt. Find him on Facebook. Find him we're on all social media. His YouTube channel. I didn't even put this in the link, but the YouTube channel. Actually, it's in the description. The link is in the description. Just go run the channel here. That's what it looks like. The link. It's channel. All those letters after it. But that's. I should have been running this the whole show. Anyway, that's his YouTube channel. You can check out his stand-up work there. But follow Walt on social media. Get on my mailing list, and I promise you, I will let you know if anything significant is happening in Walt's career and when it does and all that kind of stuff. Besides from that, I want to let you know about the Android app is available. If you go to minddogtv.com, there's a Google Play button, big old Google Play button. They wouldn't give me a small button, just huge old big Google Play button. The iOS, the Apple version of the app is in verification or approval, whatever that is. We expect it to be approved either today or Monday, and that will be available soon. So get the app and listen to us on Live 365. Take it with you as your Bluetooth phone audio in your cars and all that stuff. Listen to us wherever you go. Plus, you get 24/7 radio of some of the coolest mix of comedy and music you're going to find. Reminiscent stuff, new comedy, new music, old music, everything. And you never know what you're going to get. So you could get, I don't know, Jay-Z into Frank Sinatra into Mitch Hedberg as a playlist. How about that? Anyway, I don't know if that really helps sell the thing. Anyway, I appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to turn on your radio, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye for now.
I
me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen